Bravo, Martha Argerich. Astonishing performance of Prokofiev's Piano Concerto No. 3. This is the first movement. Martha is 80 years of age on that recording. And
she was about 21.
Yes, isn't it extraordinary? Yeah, on fire. What great music. Were you at the Bowl concert last night, Frank?
No, we decided it was a bit far to walk.
Yeah, understood. Yes.
Did you go?
Yes, indeed. Yes, and heard that work last night. It was a part of the program, and it was, really just extraordinary. Young pianist just played it with such compulsive energy. It was white hot.
Wow, never heard it before.
Yeah, it's just, I hadn't actually. I didn't sort of know No. 3. I've played No. 1 in an orchestra before, but not No. 3. And it's just great work, very acerbic, full of sort of sarcasm and gnarliness, as Prokofiev was so ironic in his writing. And it all comes through, but just a very
an enormous capacity to go from one extreme to another, didn't he?
Yes, indeed. Yes, lots of mood changes. Incredible.
A million miles from Peter and the Wolf, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is a completely different world, really. But
and the classical symphony.
That's a marvellous work, isn't it?
I love it.
Yeah, I love the classical symphony. Should do a program on that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the quintessential neoclassical work. It's the work that anyone who's studying neoclassicism has to look at that particular work of Prokofiev's, because that's his homage to the great classicists.
And a very, very, very good one.
Indeed. Yeah, it was a great concert last night. It was.
Yes, I think they did Carmina Burana.
They did indeed. It was wonderful to hear the whole cantata right through all movements, and that's another work full of humour and wit and.
I've come to respect it over time.
Yes. Sure, I've got some difficulties with Karl Orff, but you can't. You have to sort of, I do and I don't. I admire the man tremendously for what he did for music education.
Yeah.
And you can't sort of just say because someone seemingly collaborated that they're a bad composer. And the problem I have with Orff is that he wasn't a Nazi. He didn't join the party. He wasn't involved, but he collaborated to the point that it furthered his career. And then he tried to deny it and lied at the inquest afterwards. When he was denazified, it's been now proven that he actually made up lies so to get himself off the hook, because he was up to his eyeballs in just in opportunism, just rampart opportunism. And it's really, really sad story, actually, because there was a guy called Huber who was a poet and helped him a lot with Carmina Burana, helped a lot with the 13th century poetry.
Yeah.
And very good friends. Huber was a member of the resistance. I don't think he was Jewish, but he was a member of the White Rose, which was a resistance in Munich. And Karl Orff was a friend of Huber's, but was not involved in that. And anyhow, Huber was arrested and tortured and decapitated. It was terrible, horrible business. And when Karl Orff heard about it, he went to see Huber's wife the next day, not knowing that he'd been arrested and this had occurred.
Yeah.
And his first reaction was that I'm ruined, is what he said. And because he was just thinking about himself, and he could have used his influence, significant influence, to perhaps get this guy off the hook, but he was just terrified and ran like a rabbit down the hole and didn't do anything at all. And and then he had the audacity after the war to say that he was one of the organisers of the White Rose resistance movement, where he then he wrote a long letter of apology to the dead Huber, saying that I did this for my own good, but I just want to ask for your posthumous blessing, which is a bit late, and it's a real coward's sort of stance, really. It's really horrible. I mean, look, who knows how anyone would perform under those circumstances, and especially intimidation. He was a very nervous, rather sort of pathetic individual, and I think that he. They say he was like an eternal adolescent in a way. And
he just wasn't grounded.
He wasn't grounded. He wasn't able to take responsibility. He was quite a bit of a sociopath, but in a gentle way. And so he did that. But it smacks of deep shame and just it's just horrible, that sort of thing. Anyhow, so that's the difficulty I have with Karl Orff. But look, his music I think is great. I love Carmina Burana.
Yeah, I do too.
And he wrote it
just about every year when Kathy was at Macroll.
Yes, schools did it a lot. I've done it with schools before and played in the orchestra, and the choruses are just amazing, and the poetry is incredible. It's all sort of music set to, it's music. The poems themselves are from the 11th to the 13th century, and they've been sort of brought to life with this very, very Spartan sort of ancient texture. He was really into early music, so he liked the idea of non-polyphony and just layers, and it's got lots of metric rhythms and rhythmically complex and just compelling. I loved it. I was riveted the whole thing. I just think it was, it's great to hear it all.
Yeah.
And look, I might play a bit at the very end. And he wrote a number of cantatas, and he wrote a theatre piece called De Monde, which I was listening to today in the train.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's a fabulous piece. It's like a children's play about the moon. It's like a fantasy story, and he set it to music, and it's very, very similar to Carmina Burana, but it's so wonderful, so listenable, and so accessible, and full of just lively folk elements. He was a great tunesmith. He could write really interesting sort of pentatonic style tunes.
Yep.
And I just think he's one of the great composers, really. But it's just a complex picture. His music is a bit the same.
Right.
But and what he did for music education, I use Orff methodologies a lot in my teaching. And
why not?
Yeah, he used a lot to do with using layers and rhythm, and he had a whole treatise on education, and which is still used in classrooms today. So that's interesting too. So that's the story of Karl Orff. So but look, I'm sure people know the O Fortuna. It was very powerful. They had all of the speakers turned up, and they had the full MSO chorus, and they had the tam tam giving its almighty crack at the after the opening chorus.
Oh boy!
It's just it's powerful stuff. Look, having said all of that, let's just give a little bit of O Fortuna to set the scene.
Yeah.
O Fortuna, and by Karl Orff. So so part of me really feels I feel for him.
Yeah.
I really feel for him, but I also feel sort of partly repulsed by him as well. It's complex emotions. And he was a very vulnerable man right through. He had terrors. After the war, every night he would wake up screaming. He had sort of terrors. And so he was someone who was completely possessed and by all of that, what he witnessed. So I think he was very sensitive, but he also took the coward's way out. So how do you sort of see these things? But
Yeah.
but look, here we go. I'm just waffling while I'm queuing this up, and the computers are all slow today. But here we go. Carl Orff, O Fortuna from Carmina Burana. This was the big opening part of the concert last night. And wow, what a moment it was in front of 14,000 people. All right, we're just going through the motions here, and the computer is being ultra slow. But I think we're there. Powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff.
It made all the hair stand up on my arms last night. It's amazing. Just great to hear that live. It's wonderful. And it's interesting. It's a work that has many movements. Some of them are very folksy, and there's a bass soloist, and very raunchy, the lyrics. A lot of them are in ancient German or Middle German and in Latin. And I looked up the words. We'll do admissions on it, and I can flesh it out. But although it'll have to be late night because it's some of the words are really, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
It's this highly erotic text.
Without knowing any specifics.
Yeah. Look, it's just a full-on sort of prostitutes giving their telling the story.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's great stuff.
Like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Indeed, and had a beautiful soloist last night. I'll play a bit of the second movement, which is just.
It's quite gentle, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. There's some very tender moments in it, and I'll do a proper sort of expose and pick the eyes out of it and show some of the folksy movements with all of strumming and the violins. It's very.
It just struck me that hearing that, even though it sounded good, it's nothing on hearing it live, is it?
Oh, live it was amazing. It was just it was full on. It was incredible. Yes, just the full forces. It was like this forces of nature.
Even better in the open.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of sound reinforcement, but that's what they have to do. But look, it was really effective, and I'd love to hear it again. In fact, it's prompted me to listen more to Carl Orff's music. And after listening to De Monde, the Moon, today,
Yeah.
I feel encouraged to, And you became really obsessed with ancient Greek mythology and wrote a lot of works based on ancient Greek texts.
Okay.
You went on Antigone and Prometheus, I think, and there's the whole stack of them. And they're sort of cantatas, and they're very Spartan, but beautifully written lines, very ponted. What's the word? I'll come to it in a minute. Yeah, the melodic lines are very pentatonic. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And very listenable and beautifully shaped. I'll play just a little bit of the second movement, which is Fortune Plago Volnira. It's again with a chorus, but you just get an idea of how dynamic this music is. It's just wonderful stuff.
Fortune Plago Volnira, si l'antico Socellis, con sua mihi munera, su tra I tre bellis, e rumes pot regnitur frontem capillata, sed rerum sequitur occasio calvata. Quintum est pot regnitur frontem capillata, sed rerum sequitur occasio calvata. In fortune solio sine rapinatus, prosperitatis vario, flore coronatus, quid enim florui felix et beatus, nunc ad summo coprum illumina privatus. Quid enim florui felix et beatus, nunc ad summo coprum illumina privatus. Fortune rota volitur, essendo minoratus, aeterin altum tolitur, nimis exaltatus, rex sebet in vertice capeat ruina, nam sum accelerimus secum am regina. Rex sebet in vertice capeat ruina, nam sum accelerimus secum am regina.
There we go. Another.
Very primal, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's just got that sort of comes from the earth. It's
That's
the
right.
wheel of fortune. It's all sort of about sort of happen chance and life's unpredictable tangents. It's very philosophical in that sense. It deals with sort of profundity, but also joy and lust and
A lot of lust, I think.
yeah, there is quite a lot.
A
And
lot of lust. Nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong at all. And there's one really crazy movement. Here it is. This is the one where a tenor has to sing in the tenor's ultra falsetto range, and it's about a goose getting cooked and cooked alive. I think it's a bit horrible.
Yeah.
And so it's about this is a song about the cooking of a goose from the same cantata about 10 movements on. Let's have a listen to this. I'll be interested to hear how this tenor does it. The poor fellow last night. It was hard work.
Holy
And so it goes on. So that was that one we just heard there with the tenor. I can read it out. I found a translation here. It says, once I lived on lakes, once I looked beautiful when I was a swan. Misery me, now black and roasting fiercely. The servant is turning me on the spit. I am burning fiercely on the pyre. The steward now serves me up. Misery me, etc. That's all just
Black, isn't it?
It is pretty black. So this is medieval poetry. It's from about some of the poems are from the 11th, 12th and 13th centuries, apparently. And I can play another one. Here's one of the lascivious ones. I think it's number 10. Oh, this is great. Let's find it. If I can find it here, bear with me. Number 10. Where is it? 8, 9... 10's gone. Maybe it's on the side of the page. Oh no, here it is, number 8, sorry. Shopkeeper, give me colour. It says, shopkeeper, give me colour. This is a prostitute singing. Give me colour to make my cheeks red so that I can make the young men love me against their will. Look at me, young men. Let me please you, she says. Good men love women worthy of love. Love ennobles your spirit and gives you honour. Look at me, etc. Hail world, so rich in joys, I'll be obedient to you because of the pleasures you afford. How about this?
Oh.
It's amazing. So this is number 8. We'll have to hear this. Here we go.
It doesn't hold back, does it? Really?
It doesn't hold back at all.
Very good.
Yes, excellent. do a photomatic there because you actually got a double dose. You got 7 and 8
Right.
in that instance. But it gives us an idea of the lovely sort of fresh, very approachable music. It's music that was designed. It's almost quite like the stage works, from the Weimar Republic. Now the early Bertolt Brecht and people like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It has that sort of vibe to it in places as well. The cabaret feel.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's sort of basic.
Yeah, it is. Very, very simple. Very, very simple in its form. Just simple melodies and layered up percussion.
But
And
effective,
yeah, I think so. It's very, very approachable music. But I'll just play one more. The problem is getting the click right on this because there's a list here of all the movements, but I've got to get the mouse positioned. Now, this is number 10. It's called If All the World Were Mine. And the poem goes, if all the world were mine, from sea to the Rhine, I would do it without it if the Queen of England would lie in my arms. Hey,
Wow.
I love
Say
it.
no more.
Indeed. Okay, and he makes up his own words and places as well.
Right.
So yeah, it's compelling. It's a really beautiful. Actually, there's one more movement here I wouldn't mind playing, and it's a soprano aria. If I remember, I think it was the penultimate one,
Yep.
and she sang it so beautifully last night. I'd like to hear on this recording how it goes. It's called "Hail, Most Beautiful One," and the poem is: "Hail, most beautiful one, precious jewel. Hail, pride among virgins, glorious virgin. Hail, light of the world. Hail, rose of the world. Blanchefleur and Helen, noble Venus."
Yeah, well,
That's wonderful. So we'll go with this, number 24, and I'll write it out because this will go for a couple of minutes, and then there's the big O Fortuna at the end to wind it all up.
okay.
So
Very appropriate.
here we go. A drama from Carl Orff, and we heard the last two movements from Carmina Burana. Yeah, we didn't. Sorry, I missed the soprano aria. It's hard to click on and get the timestamps right, but we did. What I read out was what we just heard from the choir, the soprano precedes that. But we'll leave that to another time. We can hear more another time. But yes, it's the Wheel of Fortune. So it sort of goes from joy to bitterness, hope to grief. It sort of does this big cycle, and it begins and ends with O Fortuna. And so there we go. Just
all about life.
It is about the life's rich tapestry and the sort of randomness of things. And a big cantata, the great opus of Carl Orff, and it was performed in Melbourne. It's not performed in its entirety that often. You hear selected movements at sort of school concerts and things.
Yeah, I think McRob did it nearly all of it.
Did they?
With the Melbourne High boys.
Oh, fabulous. Yes, I did it when I was at Melbourne High with Mick Robb.
Did you?
Yeah, back in the 80s.
Great stuff.
And I remember that well. And we did quite a few movements of it. I've done it, I think, 3 times, but not the full hour and 15, whatever it takes to make it. It's a very big work in its totality. And but
it was in the 70s. It would have been early.
It would have been before. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was early to mid 70s.
Okay. Yeah, it would have been great. It would have been I mean, it's compelling music, and it's not that hard for school groups to put together because it's.
Fabian Mott was a huge advocate of it.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, but I just thoroughly enjoyed it last night, and it was just great being amongst 14,000 people or whatever in the gardens with our postage stamp. Beatrice and I went together, and we only had a little bit of green lawn, about I reckon 2 feet square. So we just crammed in there. We had to sort of have our hands around our knees, sitting on the lawn.
There, isn't it?
It is. It's really packed, and they packed a lot of people in last night because it was the final in the series. Yeah, so it was good.
In the orchestra?
He wasn't. No, he was. Unfortunately, he had to practice. I went to. He was at the con practicing. He's just working really hard at the moment, and every spare minute is practicing. And I went to a masterclass and heard Henry play today.
Oh.
And he played a whole lot of orchestral excerpts, which he's working on in earnest.
Great.
And it was really good. It's so good hearing master musicians give masterclasses, and with so much acuity and deep knowledge of the music and the background and just forensic detail. It was so good, and I was really proud of him. He did well, and it was it was complex music, a whole range of things.
Wonderful. I heard that's one of the hardest instruments in the whole panoply to play, the French horn.
That's right. I think so. Yeah. I remember Henry saying to me, I heard that cello is one of the hard instruments, so I'm going to pick the harder one, which is the French one.
Oh, my God. I think he did.
Yes, he did, but I think that was just tongue-in-cheek. But I think, yes, definitely it is. It's very hard to sustain and to keep the tone colour it's got a very, very small mouthpiece, and it requires an extremely good breath control.
Yeah.
It's orders of magnitude harder than the trumpet and the trombone and other brass instruments. So yes, you just have to. He notices if he misses one day practice. He really notices it. So it's down to that sort of hair trigger precision.
Dedication, isn't it?
Yeah, and all his friends, all the people who are sort of working at the higher level at the conservatorium, are all doing 5 hours a day.
Yeah, boy.
And that's the way it has to be. And so yeah, he's in that. He's really absorbed in that world. So that's what's happening.
Right,
yeah. So it was good to go. There's a big brass festival on at the moment, and I went in this afternoon and had a listen. It's the most amazing building, Frank. It's the new con is
I
just
haven't been there.
it's the acoustics in the rooms are so good. And every room is designed with to prevent standing waves, and it's non-fatiguing. And this was in just a sort of a moderate-sized room, but I've been to various events in different rooms at the con, and every one is just so purpose-built for musicians. And
fantastic.
It is. That's why he wants to go in and practice, because it's open till, I think, nearly midnight most nights, so he just drives in and works there and comes home very late. And
Great.
yeah, but look, the rooms are good because if you don't have too much ringing, if the room doesn't speak to you too much, and if you can hear yourself well, it makes enormous difference,
I'm
especially
sure
for
it does.
a brass
It's
instrument.
like the recital centre.
Yeah, totally. It is. Yeah.
It's like that, isn't it?
It is. Look, I'll bring you along. In fact, most of the conservatorium concerts, this is for the listener, they're free. They're free concerts. And
Really?
this concert, you just have to look up the Melbourne Conservatorium and look up the programs, and there are concerts almost every week of various kinds, whether they be open masterclasses or events. But the standard's really high, and the venue is just marvellous, and I commend it thoroughly. I mean, when Henry leaves the con, I'm going to keep going back and just hearing students perform.
Yeah.
Because you just hear great performances, and they're and everything's recorded. And everything's up. It's done so professionally now. Everything's up on the Conservatorium website, and the standard is only half a notch lower than the MSO. Really, it's
The youth orchestra is terrific. I know.
just tremendous. Yeah.
I know Holly loves it.
She must have been in
making of it. Really.
Yeah, that's great. She must have been in the chamber orchestra because they performed earlier on last night.
Oh, did they?
I think so.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll find out from Peter. He was going.
Yeah. So, because we didn't get there until about 7:30. Oh, it's about 7 o'clock, and the concert started at 7:30, so we couldn't hear the program before the pre-program. But I believe the chamber orchestra did play. But wonderful venue. Great to experience that. So I've been raving here.
How was your weekend apart from that?
Oh, look, we went out Friday night. We did a walk. We walked into Half Moon Bay, which is between Kilcunda and Bass. It's sort of on the Punch Bowl. There's a coastal walk, and walk about 5 k's in, and then drop down to a beautiful beach. And the idea was to watch the sunset, but there wasn't much of a sunset on Friday. But it was still very beautiful and very peaceful place to be. And I often go there. I find it's just it's not far from Melbourne, and I've taken the kids there a lot. And this time, Kate and I went down there, and just magnificent wild beach, and no one's ever there. I just never ever see anyone.
Right.
And so it's just nice to have that solitude and the sound of the waves. It's very dramatic seas, and there's a good spot to camp. You can just sort of pitch up a tent or sleep on the beach. Just there's a sort of an area well above the high tide mark, so it's fairly, you're never going to be ingressed by the sea.
Sure.
But the sound of the sea, it's so. I did about half an hour of recording early morning. I put the phone on and recorded the sound of the waves.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, because they're so dramatic.
You can get great bass from a phone, can't you?
You can, actually. You can. And it was a lot of depth because there's a big rocky peninsula on each end of this beach, and it really sort of amplifies the subsonics.
Marvelous, little cavernous sort of.
Yeah, it is. That's right. So, look, it was great. It was a really good... That's what I needed to do, and I'm hopeful of doing that sort of thing more often because it's just a nice escape. And it's close to town.
Wonderful.
Yay. So that's the story. Now, I should mention at this point for next week, next Friday, I've got a school event. I can't go on afternoon Friday, but I'll be fine for Friday night. And and Kate's going away next weekend, so I'll be here looking after the clan, so there should be no problem about continuous missions at our usual time, but not the afternoon one on Friday.
No problem.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Just on VK3JR, talking to vk3sl.
Yes.
Testing.
Yes, test missions on 160 and on UHF as well, and also streaming online as we do. So what I might do is play our 20s hit and see if we've got a few sort of, maybe a few jazz records to play from this point. So,
all right.
I think this one's an Old Brunswick. I queued it up a while ago. I'll have a look and see what the title is. Yes, it's a track called Hallelujah. It's from a production called Hit the Deck. I think it came out in 1929.
Right.
And two pianists, Phil Oman and Victor Arden, two sort of big pop names in the 20s, and they had their own orchestra for a bit, and they made a few records, including this one. So I think it's queued up. I'm just going to go through the motions here.
No, I know the song.
Yes, it was a big hit in the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're right. I think we're in gear. And the stylus might. That's it. It's in.
hallelujah, and you'll shoo the blues away. When cares pursue ya, hallelujah, gets you through the darkest day. Satan lies a-waitin' and creatin' skies of gray, but hallelujah, hallelujah, helps to shoo ya clouds away.
Phil Oden and Victor Arden and their orchestra from the late 1920s. Hallelujah from the production Hit the Deck. And I don't know who the vocalist was. Frank, I'll just check and see. Have we got a vocal refrain here? No, it just says vocal chorus.
Okay. There was a soloist there.
Yeah, there certainly was. I don't know what was happening. The pianists were playing their sort of florid background there.
The trumpet was doing a funny little
Yes,
noise.
there was something weird and asymmetric and novelty-ish on that record as well.
Yeah.
So, as they did back then.
That's it, little novelty twist.
Novelty twists, that's it. Yeah. So I haven't done much listening to the Tube this week, so I'm not entirely aware of what the latest historic releases are. We'll look into that later on, but I've just got a pile of records off the garage. I just went out into the garage and pulled a handful of sort of small ensemble jazz records out, and we've got some of Fats Waller and his Continental Rhythm, some of the King Cole Trio, which is Nat King Cole.
Lovely.
That could be interesting. So we can give this a go. Let's have a look at this one. Hit the Ramp. King Cole Trio on a Decca or Early Morning Blues. Looks a bit worn, this record, but we can give it a go. What do you reckon? Early Morning Blues or Hit the Ramp?
Oh, Early Morning Blues, eh?
Okay, we'll give that a burl. It's a Decca 78, and just get the speed right. I'll play this on the SP10, which has a narrower status, and we'll see if we can get a result. There we go, in the groove. vk3sl. There's the King Cole Trio there from the late 1940s, I think. It's interesting, isn't it, that Nat wasn't actually singing with a group at that point.
Oh, no, he was just played piano
Yeah.
and running the group.
Yes. And
My previous U3A tutor used to say that he very much regretted that Nat ever took up singing because it
Right.
deflected him from what he was best at.
isn't that interesting? I thought he's a wonderful singer, though.
I didn't agree with him.
Yeah, yeah.
But he did get deflected into doing like a few soapy sort of
I
ballads.
know. He sort of got really into that commercial vein, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he ended up just
That's where he made his money.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
The early Capitol Records person.
that's right, exactly. I mean, he was the big earner, the new kid on the block, and he was bigger than Texas for a while.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
was, and he was he sold 1 million. My dad used to he did a song called Mona Lisa.
Oh, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Yes, I might dial it up because it is a lovely song, and yeah, we can play that. I'll play the other side of this. I'm intrigued. I thought that just really had a really lovely vibe, that ensemble. Yeah, I'm going to go and also have a quick look through the transcription records and see if I've got one of the King Cole Trio. I have a feeling there's one there as
I've
well.
got an LP of them.
Oh, okay, as the King Cole Trio.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, sure. Before he started singing with them.
No, well, he was singing. He sang with the trio for quite a while.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Well, yeah, we'll play the other side. It's called "Hit the Ramp."
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
that came across quite well. So we'll hear it. Another item from the King Cole Trio. I love the sound of the electric guitar. It's just beautifully balanced on the ensemble, isn't it? It just is a really lovely sort of interplay.
Played beautifully
Tonally.
with the piano, didn't he?
Yeah, they're just sort of, I don't know, tonally matched.
It's like the Shearing had the same sort of thing happening, actually.
Right, yeah. And what was the Shearing Trio? Was that also with electric guitar and bass?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Wow. See, you almost don't need a percussionist.
No, you don't really.
Yeah, I just sort of think there's something sort of soft, isn't there?
Yeah.
I like you. I mean, a percussionist with brushes can sort of add a little bit of effervescence and spice, but sometimes it's just lovely hearing jazz in its basic form like this.
It does pretty well. It depends on what they're playing.
Yeah, it does. It depends on the mood and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that these are certainly worth a Guernsey. So we'll hear side B. That's just so laid back.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
It's just brilliant. I just love his vibe. It just sort of, I could listen to that all night.
Yes, so could I. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. You just could kick back in a cocktail lounge and just sort of relax and just let time pass. I think that's amazing. Yeah, it's good to hear. Well, look, we'll play this other track because, I think Nat King Cole he wore many different, Guernseys along the way.
He did.
And including his sort of more, I suppose you could say, commercial stuff, but he did it so well. And he's such a musician. I mean, his sense of line and beautiful tone colour is just magnificent. And I know this track because I know it's a favourite track of one of our dedicated listeners as well.
Oh, good. Hello, dedicated listeners.
Yes.
I used to love... my dad used to... I liked it too as a kid.
Yeah.
But my dad absolutely loved it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's hear it now. And a very big hit for him, Mona Lisa. But he
Certainly was.
He just sang that so beautifully, though. You know, he didn't force anything. That's the sense I get with Nat King Cole. There's an effortlessness.
It is effortless. It just comes out.
Yeah, it does. It's just like a dream.
Yeah.
It's marvellous stuff. Yeah, thanks for that suggestion. And no, I can understand the point that he was such a gifted jazz pianist. If he pursued that, he could have really probably developed that into something even more amazing.
It's like Crosby's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So where do you go? I mean, if the adoration comes from the masses in the commercial sphere, well,
that's right.
I can't blame people for pursuing that. I mean, same with
the pressure from record companies would be enormous.
Would have been enormous. They would have given them every advantage, and it would have just been. I mean, the same thing happened with Louis Armstrong, of course. I mean,
it did, absolutely.
It sort of consumed him in the end, really. But I suppose that's not for me to judge. Yeah, someone who always maintained his own was Mr. Waller. He sort of he kept it going.
I think he was a bit of a law unto himself.
I think he might have been, yes. And so there seems to be a few Waller records in this pile, including some with his continental rhythm, which I think has the organ in it. So we could hear one of his pipe organ records. We've got Ain't Misbehavin', and on the other side, Don't Try That Jive on Me.
Let's do that one.
Oh, it's so much fun. This is just a great track, and it's just full of wonderful organ, Wurlitzer organ punctuations. He just does it with such a blom, and there's almost a air of vulgarity sometimes, but it's so delightful. Yes, so Mr. Waller certainly had it all.
tell me you love me only. Say you're feeling so lonely, but I know you're lying. That's why I'm crying. Now don't you try your jive on me. Oh, you ask me a whole gang of questions. You make all kinds of suggestions. If only you meant it, I wouldn't resent it. But don't try your jive on me. All night long, you hang around. Can't you see you bring me down? Yes, yes. I know that you think you're a sender. You'll never make me surrender. In fact, you don't rate. I'm telling you, Gate. Now don't try your jive on me.
Swallow and his rhythm from the late 1930s. Don't try your jive. That's a good track, isn't it?
It's a great track.
Yeah, it just sounds so great in jazz, doesn't it, the organ?
Yep, it's terrific. He plays it beautifully.
He does. He just knows a lot about space. He's a master of sort of, giving music a chance to breathe and for the full expression to shine through.
Just the right number of notes.
Indeed. It's all there. There's a few of his in this pile. What else? Oh, here's one here. I've got to play this one because the label's been scratched off. I think this record must have been in a jukebox or something.
Right.
Because it's mostly scratched off. All I can see is Fats Waller and his rhythm, vocal refrain and piano by Fats Waller, it says, but the title I can't read. It's gone. So on both sides, which is weird. I think it must have come out of a jukebox because there must have been something abrasing just the middle of the record.
Probably well played then.
It's very well played. We'll give it a go, see how it presents. It may be a little worse for wear, but we'll hold our breath and we'll take a risk.
Makes no difference what you sing. A bit of opera, a bit of swing. Make it sweet or make it bounce. It's the tune that counts. Sing anything that you enjoy. A rink-tinky or hoy-hoy-hoy. Sing it sweet, yes, or make it bounce. Start a hardy. It's the tune that counts. Some folks say this kind of singing is sappy. They might be right in a way. But any kind of singing that makes you happy, it's okay to ha-ha. Forget the lyrics when you sing. Rack-a-sacky or anything. Make it sweet, sweet, sweet. Or make it bounce. Starting hoy, hoy, hoy. It's the tune that counts, yeah. Come on, forget the lyrics when you sing. Rack-a-sacky or anything. Make it sweet or make it bounce. Charlie, hoy, hoy, hoy. It's the tune that counts. It's the tune. It's the tune. It's the tune. Hardy, hardy, hardy. It's the tune that counts.
Oh, is it marvellous? He's got such a contagious enthusiasm for life, doesn't he, Mr. Waller?
It's the tune that counts.
It's the tune. I should write it on. No, I won't. I'll make it another. I'll come back to it in 12 months' time. It'll be another serendipitous offering. So we'll let that one go to the keeper. It's a great record.
What about the other side?
Yeah, well, we can take a risk.
Oh, that was good enough.
Yeah, I reckon. It's always a good gamble with Mr. Fats. All right, yep, I have no idea. Completely scraped off. All I can tell you is his master's voice, JO89, and I can just read underneath the scratched off bit that says vocal, refrain, and piano by Fats Waller. So, here we go. We'll slap it on, give it a Guernsey, and I'm sure it will exceed expectations.
Am I happy, tickled pink? There's no telling how I feel. Since I met you, I can't think. I keep wondering, is this real? Come on and hold my hand. Let's dance all night together, hand in hand, as lightly as a feather. Hold my hand, there's romance in the weather. You and me, merrily, tip, tip, tipping in harmony. Kiss me there, it would be one sweet favor. Lips like yours must have a lovely flavor. Oh, what a sensation, you make me feel grand. Come on, baby, hold my hand. Hold it, hold it, hold it, yeah.
Mr. Waller in full form. Yeah, I was listening closely to his vocal on that, and he was more out there than Billie Holiday, but he has that same sense of placement. Everything is just in the right place, isn't it?
It's just a natural ability.
Yeah, it is. It's just felt. It's just got beautiful sense of, I don't know, internal rhythm, jazz rhythm.
Yep.
And it's such a delight to listen to because it's everything has space, and that's what the greatest jazz artists can. They reveal that music is, can breathe.
It's a breathing thing. It's a living thing.
It is. Absolutely, yeah. And I just really sensed that then. I was just listening to the way his phrases were falling, and it was so effortless, and it just sounds like it's a wonderful sort of stream of consciousness, really.
I wasn't thinking about it.
No, not at all. It just sort of came out.
Right.
I'd love to hear alternative takes of some of his stuff. I wonder if some of them are out there. Be interesting.
Bound to be somewhere, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of fats in this pile here. Here's one called Pan, but I shouldn't say that too loudly on air. No, not at all. That's the name of the song, folks. PAN.
All right, yes.
Duplicated. So we can let the music tell the tale, I think. So Fats Waller and his rhythm, vocal refrain and piano by Fats himself on an HMV 78. Let's continue. vk3sl.
vk3sl.
My, dig that pan. Say, boy, for the cat's information, I'll try to describe your face. In fact, I'll take the stand and try to review your case. Of course, I know, on the other hand, no one for miles around can equal your pan. No, sir. Pan, looks like a dish pan. Pan, must be a moose pan. Pan, boy, you got some pan. Some pan. Got a potato head with a Frankenstein face. I know the first prize you would take any place. Brother, with that pan of yours, don't you have to pay tax? You ought to have gold stacked up by the stacks. Yeah. Pan. Looks like a dish pan. Pan. Must be a moose pan. Pan. Boy, you got some pan. I've been to all the circuses. In fact, I just left a funny show. But that pan of yours, brother, has got to go. I'm gonna stop this terrific build-up and give you a chance to relax. Cause that pan of yours is the very climax, yeah. Pan. Where did you get that face anyway? Pan. My goodness, you ought to haunt 55 houses and don't miss a one. Pan. Get away from me, you scare me to death. Get away from here. Sad. Oh, take it out of here. What? And no teeth?
It's inimitable. So, there we have it. Fats Waller and his rhythm.
Great stuff.
It is marvellous. So, yeah, it's good. There's always Fats Waller. Every pile I go through here, there's a Fats Waller record. They seem to be abundant. It's good that they were sold in Australia.
Very good.
Yeah. I noticed that they had a recording somewhere in this pile of Tommy Dorsey, here we go, and his Clambake 7. We had Artie Shorty's Grimacy 5 the other day. This is another small ensemble, but a chamber jazz.
Yep.
And two sides. One of them we've played a bit, the other we haven't, but I could play them either or both, or whatever. And it's one of those rhythm and nursery rhymes. It's quite a good track. It's the B-side. The other side is The Music Goes Round and Round. With
Oh, yeah, I know that. Well, let's play that. I like that too.
Yeah, it's a great track, actually. It really is. It's marvellous.
That was a bit of a classic in its way.
Yeah, I agree. I remember hearing this when I was young, and I thought, yes, these guys are on fire. So we can play both, actually. Well,
Let's do that.
Yes, let's go with this. Tommy Dorsey and his Clambake 7. Now, I'll play with the smaller stylus profiles because this record is very worn. It's been well loved.
Okay.
And I've given it the Mr. Sheen treatment, I can tell, to try and ameliorate some of the rash on the record.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. It might work. Oh, it will work, but yeah, hopefully without too much distortion.
What you want, gal?
Play something for me.
Oh, I don't know how to play nothing.
Well, I'll show you now. Oh, you blow through here, the music goes down and around. Whoa, ho, 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 when it comes out here. Now push the first valve down, the music goes down and around. Whoa, ho, 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 when it comes out here. Now push the middle valve down, hear that music go down and around. Below, below, dee-dee-ho-ho-ho, listen to the jazz come out. Push that other valve down, hear the music go down and around. Whoa-ho-ho, ho-ho-ho, when it comes out here. Hey, Tommy, what's he got there?
Why, that's a clarinet, Edith.
What's he doing with it?
He's trying to show you how the music goes around and around.
Oh, he can't show me how the music goes around and around on a straight instrument.
Ouch. Kick it, Sid. Kick it.
Boy, he can kick it for my money.
And now, Grandma. How about I take you that song, Tom?
Boy, that sliding is not kicking it.
And now we're going to put on a customer's chorus, and we want you all to join in lightly on this last refrain.
Oh, I blow through here, the music goes round and around. Whoa, ho, 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 and it comes up here. Now you push the first valve down, the music goes down and around. Whoa, ho, 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 and it comes up here. Now push that middle valve down, hear the music go down and around. Below, 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 whoa, ho, ho, listen to the jazz come out. Push that other valve down, all the music goes round and around. Whoa, ho, 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 and it comes up here. My.
Edith, right. And the Tommy Dorsey Clambake 7 there back in the late 1930s.
Yeah, great
Shall I do a flip-o-matic?
Yeah.
Play side B?
Absolutely.
We'll find out what's on that. This is the Rhythm in Nursery Rhymes is the name of the track. It's probably in better condition. And yes, again, with Edith. Right. So In the groove. VK3SL.
vk3jr.
I could learn my ABCs, bring home A's instead of D's, and my ma and dad I'd please if I had rhythm in my nursery rhyme. In the corner on a stool, I'd sit 'cause I broke a rule, but I'd show them that I'm no fool if I had rhythm in my nursery rhyme. Tra-la-la-la won't get me far, lately I've been thinking, if I had a little bit of rhythm, I could be a Washington or a Lincoln. Simple Simon at the fair met a pieman who was there. About those two guys, I don't care. I need rhythm in my nursery rhyme.
Oh, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb.
But I need rhythm in my nursery rhyme. My.
A bit of a catchphrase there with Edith Wright and the Tommy Dorsey Group. I was just looking to see what else there is with her. She's got a great jazz voice, actually. She really sort of nails it. And she made quite a few records with Tommy Dorsey, and in the late 1930s. We could play one offline. She did a version of Music Maestro, Please. That's a good song. And maybe we can put that one on the list. Here we go. We can try it out. Here we go. Whoops, I'll just get that cued. And what else can I tell you about Edith Wright? It says here that she was born in 1916 and died in 1965. And she primarily worked with Mr. Dorsey, and debuted on radio in 1935 with Paul Whiteman's Rhythm Trio, it says here. And her early exposure on network radio came via appearances with the orchestras of Frank Daly and Joe Hames. Okay, goes on. CBS exposure. Network debut came in 35 with Daly's Orchestra. Goes on. Big band era. The Dorsey Brothers Orchestra initially. And after Wright left Dorsey's group, she had a solo singing act. In September 1940, she was joined by Ruth Lowe, forming a new act. Okay. There's a bit of a story there, and she lived in until 1965. Beautiful woman. So we might have another Edith Wright track. Let's have a listen to Music Maestro, please. Tommy Dorsey and the orchestra going back to 1938. I'll just have to do a bit of a cue here because systems aren't ready. There's another one in line. We'll catch up with Frank in a minute. And we are almost ready. Here it is. Okay, we're just going to hear a track by Edith Wright. Then I've got a special one I want to share with you, Frank, before we wind.
Okay.
So here we go. The name of the track, Music Maestro, please.
Tonight I mustn't think of him. Music maestro, please. Tonight I must forget those precious hours, but no hearts and flowers play. Your lilting melodies, ragtime, jazz time, swing, any old thing to help me ease the pain that solitude can bring. He used to like waltzes, so please don't play a waltz. He danced divinely, and I loved him so, but there I go. Tonight I mustn't think of him, no more memories. So play, tonight I must forget, music maestro, please.
Well, there we have it. Music Maestro, please, with Tommy Dorsey and Edith Wright on the vocals there. She sang with the Dorsey Band for quite a few years, in the late 1930s up to about 1940. And then she moved on. Now, I notice online there's a recording of her singing The Lady Is a Tramp, which is a song I really like. Always had an affection for that song. It's just a beautiful track. And I think Ellis sang it to great acclaim, and others.
Great.
Yeah, I'd like to hear. This is probably as close to the original as one can get. Again, late 1930s with Edith Wright and Tommy Dorsey and his Clambake 7, part of that same series which we just heard earlier with the small ensemble, a chamber jazz ensemble. So yeah, so look, we'll have a listen to this. This has got a bit of a the website this comes from does a little bit of a prelude. You'll hear what I mean. It's got its own little introduction, but we'll let it all flow, I think.
Right.
get too hungry for dinner at 8. I like the theater, but never come late. I never bother with people I hate. That's why the lady is a tramp. I go to Coney, the beach is divine. I go to ball games, the bleachers are fine. I follow Winchell and read every line. That's why the lady is a tramp. I like the green grass under my shoes. What can I lose? I'm flat, flat. Hate California, it's cold and it's damp. That's why the lady is a tramp.
Right with Tommy Dorsey and his Clambake 7. Interesting thing there. Mr. Dorsey did a solo and he didn't swing at all. In fact, it was pretty average trombone solo. I mean, it was competent, very competent.
Yeah, but not no flair.
No flair. That was what Artie Shaw was saying. He couldn't play jazz.
Yeah.
He's a great sort of lyricist and beautiful, you could play sentimental music.
Lovely melody stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. He did that with sublimely and not taking anything away. But in a small ensemble, you should have really given someone else the Guernsey, I reckon, with that solo.
Yeah. He wasn't adding a lot, was he?
He wasn't at all. It sort of actually took something away. Interesting, isn't it?
It's very interesting. He hit it, nailed it, really.
Yeah. And then a clarinet solo came up. I don't know who the performer was, but it was so much freer, and it just sort of makes him look like quite stoltified in a way.
A quick word on Artie, since you've mentioned him. I thought all his observations that I'd heard were terrific.
Yeah.
On other people.
Yeah, interesting. Yes, I agree. I think he's spot on. He's a very astute musician. He speaks very frankly, but he I think he was someone who was on the pulse. And,
that's the one.
And I sort of warmed to him because I think he was a conflicted individual who had a lot of demons and a lot of there's a big complex backstory to Artie Shaw, and I think some of it came out with our expose on him a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, it was an eye-opener to me. I had no idea.
Yeah, likewise. And it was an interesting one. But I just think he's an artist who wrestles with the mainstream, and that's always an exciting thing, that creative tension always.
But he had a total honesty, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He just called it as it was, and he hated the commercial sort of sphere, and I think it just completely wasted him at different times, and he had to get out. Yeah, I think he spent a lot of time in sort of recovery mode in various institutions and things. It wasn't I think the picture was quite complex in terms of his mental health, but look, he did speak of it as it was, and I sort of admire him for taking the stance of getting out if he didn't feel his heart was in it, and if he felt he was being sort of pawned in the through the magnates and the whole industry sort of manipulation.
He did what he thought he had to do, and then probably was a had to,
That's it. So I think he was probably far happier being a sort of cutting loose. But he was very young. He basically finished his career at the age of 43.
He said, "Well, I've done everything that I can do.
Yep. And he didn't want to inhabit the space of the contemporary jazz plays. He didn't like it. He didn't feel it was relevant. Couldn't see what it really meant, and that was a very honest thing in itself. I mean, I can sort of get his point in a way. I
know.
Yeah.
Well, I did to get it. It was. I have never really fully appreciated Bob.
Yeah. Look, I think it is, in some respects, excuse the term, it is a little bit of a wank in some respects.
Yeah, that's
And-
what he was saying.
yeah.
In some respects, it is. It's not. It's more than that. Certainly, but it is partly what he said.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I mean, look, I can see its merits, but I find that as he said, you have to listen to a track many times over to sort of get the
What they're doing.
to understand what the harmonic rhythm is. It's so complex and so sort of introspective.
It's very self-indulgent, really.
Yeah,
isn't
it is in a way, and I think he really rallied against that, Mr. Shaw. So I sort of acknowledge his, honest portrayal of things as he saw them in terms of making music accessible to the public at large, but yet still being creative, and that's a very difficult sort of place to navigate, I think.
Terribly difficult.
Because it has to be harmonically accessible. I mean, people are not going to connect with a harmonic language which is completely foreign. Yet he was still wanting to be inventive, and I think he just hit the wall, so to speak.
I think that's right.
So but look, he had other things to go on with. He was eternally curious.
He was. They're very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable, very interested in a whole range of things, and music was one of them, and it happened to be the thing he excelled in, and he just, kept his interest alive with other pursuits, which weren't in the public domain. So, good luck to him,
Absolutely. I really admired him.
Yeah, likewise too. I listened to those interviews a few times, and I felt, wow, he's someone who's being, really, really honest. And taking a very courageous stance. Interestingly, he sort of, changed tack shortly after his tour of Australia. So someone of Australian audiences had anything to do with his decision, but who knows? Yeah, but look, before we wind up today, I wanted to play you this, Frank. I was listening through all those Gus Arnheim Crosby recordings from the 30s, actually very early 30s, late 1929 to 31. They're very early, and a number of them reveal Crosby using his falsetto singing, which you just don't hear later on. He abandoned this. I think the technique was something you're pretty vulnerable doing that sort of thing, and he did it so well early on, but I reckon he would have had to practice a lot. This is one of the tracks which I just think is absolutely extraordinary, and it just is Crosby in his early phase, but probably trying to find his equilibrium, but just singing so well. So it's a more of a ballad type song, but again, it's certainly worth a listen. Back to 1930, Mr. Crosby and Gus Arnheim.
Beside a shady nook, a moment's bliss we took to talk of love. Beneath the stars above I held your hand, and then I whispered, dear, I love you, or was it just a dream, an idle scheme of mine to fool my heart and yet it seemed divine. It must be true. I was with you and you are mine, all mine. Or was it just a dream, an idle scheme of mine to fool my heart? And yet it seemed divine, it must be true. I was with you and you are mine, all mine.
That was Mr. C back in 1930.
I really
And,
like that.
yeah, I just think he sang that so well. He really, really just nailed it, I think.
As you say, it's really out there, isn't it?
It is. He took risks. He pushed his vocal, abilities to the edge, and it just worked. It just worked really well. It was really heartfelt and beautifully shaped, and his falsetto just seamlessly, just propagated. It was magnificent.
Yeah.
It just shows what a great artist he was, and his whistling perfectly in tune.
Perfectly into a lot of vibrato.
Yes, that was the thing. But anyhow, I just thought that was. I was walking to work the other day, listening to some of these, and I heard that, and I thought, oh my God, that needs to be
Yeah, that
tagged.
was special, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
He was really full voicing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. So anyhow, Mr. C, and he changed his style. I think he sort of rested in his. I think his lower range became more emboldened as he. Kept his pipe smoking going.
Yeah, well, that's not going to help, is it?
That's right. So that sort of added to his lower register, and yeah, that's the way it sort of went for him. But early days he was singing a lot of falsetto and with beautiful colour and scope. Yeah. So anyhow, we'll have to widen it at this point this week.
It's time to eat.
Yes, time to have food, and so I might just put something on in the background while I get organised for dins, and just to sort of add just to keep the circle going. I've got here a recording from the Orff Schulwerk Association. This is an LP I put up about 5 years ago, and this is by far my most successful YouTube upload.
Right.
And it's interesting. It's nothing to do with radio, but it happens to be a couple of LPs I put up, LPs from the 50s of the Orff Schulwerk, and I think Carl Orff had a bit to do with the actual production of this record.
Really?
For Columbia back in about 1952, 53. And and it seems like the members of the Orff Schulwerk Association have latched onto it and got a bit excited about it. So,
That's wonderful.
yeah, it's nice. It's just nice that there's something that contributes to the conversation. It just hasn't. I don't think anyone else has put it up. There must be other copies of the record around, but it is evidently of interest. I think it was recorded in Britain. And it just shows what Carl Orff was doing for kids. And, it's a complex story with him, and I don't, I try and stand a middle ground and to see things as they are. And although he had a number of controversial issues, I do love his music. And I think he was probably a tortured individual who just had to deal with the impossible in a way that no one really could imagine. Not being an apologist for him, it's just the state of things. But having heard Come In a Burana yesterday, I do want to hear more of his music. And I certainly commend Der Mond, The Moon. It's another cantata. It's a theatre piece, really, with a small orchestra accompanying. And it's just a magnificent work. I was listening to it on the train, and I just thought, oh, my God, this music, it has to be heard. So we might save it up for a future missions.
Excellent.
Yeah, so thanks, Frank. Thank you, as always.
And you, Steve, thank you. It's always fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
And educational, of course.
Well, we all sort of...
Really why we're doing it.
Well, that's exactly it. That's what it's all about. It's about, just discovering new things as we go. And we'll be back again next Friday. Not afternoon missions next Friday. I'll be doing a work function next week until about 8 or 9 o'clock, but I should be home by the time we do our late program. So we'll just go to it then and see where the tide takes us.
Sounds good.
All good. Okay, thanks, folks. Thanks for listening in. Much appreciated. And
Hey, good evening to the listener. Thanks for listening.
Indeed. Thank you. And we look forward to your company next time. vk3sl signing off for now.
vk3jr.
Our cottage baby's deep, the little light
mischievous raven flew laughing away, and vowed he would serve them the same the next day. The mischievous raven flew laughing away, and vowed he would serve them the same the next day. La 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la. A farmer went trotting upon blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? Three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off his tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? Three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off his tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off his tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? Hush thee, my baby, thy sigh was a night. Thy mother a lady, both lovely and bright. The woods and the glens from the towers which we see, they all are belonging, dear baby, to thee. The woods and the glens from the towers which we see, they all are belonging, dear baby, to thee. Oh, fear not the bugle, though loudly it blows. It calls but the warders that guard thy repose. Their bows would be bended, their blades would be red. Their step of a foeman drew near to thy bed. Their bows would be bended, their blades would be red. Their step of the foeman drew near to thy bed. Oh, hush thee, my baby, the time soon will come when my sleep shall be broken by trumpet and drum. Then hush thee, my darling, take rest while you may. For strife comes with manhood and waking with day. Then hush thee, my darling, take rest while you may. For strife comes with manhood and waking with day. By rules in a barrel drove into Harrow, tra-la, 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 tra-la. By rules in a barrel drove into Harrow, tra-la, 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 tra-la. They ran and they bumped and they limped and they lumped and the faster they rumbled, the faster they tumbled. They ran and they bumped and they limped and they lumped and the faster they rumbled, the faster they tumbled. By rules in a barrel drove into Harrow, tra-la, 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 tra-la. By rules in a barrel drove faster they rumble, they faster they rumble, they lift and they left them. The faster they rumble, the faster they tumble. Like wheels in a barrel going through Harrow. Like wheels in a barrel going through Harrow.
The barrow went bust and they fell in the dust.
vk3sl. You're listening to a test transmission on 160 and on UHF.
Matthew, Matthew, Saint Matthew,
forbear me. Downhill, forbear me. Plain way, spare me not. Let me not drink when I am hot.
When caught in a tempest, whatever it be, if it lightens and thunders, beware of a tree. Here stands a good apple tree. Stand fast at root, bear well at top. Every little twig bear an apple big. Every little bough bear an apple now. Hats full, caps full, 3 sacks full. Hello, boys, hello.
An emerald is as green as grass. A ruby red as blood. A sapphire shines as blue as heaven. A flint lies in the mud. A diamond is a brilliant stone to catch the world's desire. An opal holds a fiery spark, but a flint holds fire.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails through. That under the cold stone days and nights at 31 sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charred pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake.
Eye of newt and toe of frog,
Wool of bat and tongue of dog.
adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's lake, and howlet's wing.
For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell rock, boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Sommaren ser kommen in, solen sin kokon. Gråa
Been listening to a test transmission from vk3sl. Test missions on 160 and on UHF. Listening to the music of Carl Orff and Gunhild Keitman. Music for children.